Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the shaky video. I'm a little wobbly. I thought I would bring you out and show you part of what we've been working on primarily this week, but been working on it technically since the beginning of spring. Just things got a little busy and didn't have time to finish the project. Working on setting up a trellis system and a setting area and a living fence with apple trees. We've got a few to replace and a few to work with here, but I've been setting posts and installing cables, getting ready to do cables on this system after these posts set tonight and the concrete dries. So while we got some light, I thought I would show you what we got going on. So here we have a Cox's orange pippin. And you can see my temporary stake that I had in to hold this tree up. It was wanting to lay down on the ground. This is a G935 rootstock, and we will be running cables through these. You will see I've got 3 holes drilled in these short posts. These are 6-foot 4x4s, and I've got roughly 4.5 feet out of the ground, so I've got about 1.5 feet in the ground. Now, in an area that had a high freeze point, that would not be enough in the ground, but that's just really not the case here. So anyway, this tree didn't make it. I forget what happened. I don't know if it died or got up the lawnmower or the weed eater, can't remember. So I've got to replant that one. We've got another tree there and there. And right up here by the post hole diggers, I have a tree, small one, not the big tree in the back, but there's one right by the post hole diggers. We've got a tree here and here and another one. And what these will outline the walk. I haven't set these posts yet, but there'll be a walk path through here, and trees will be the fence on each side of it. I'm sorry for the fast video. I'm a little quick on my turns. And then here we have obviously another one. So here is my front post. You'll see my corner post here that's got an anchor. Cables will anchor coming in this way, and I'll have cables coming in this way. So this one will be at the corner, and I will actually tie this to this railing to help reinforce it. We're setting concrete. These are still drying, and if you look right on up this way, you will see that I've got several more posts running, and this front will be a living fence. If you've never seen a living fence, we'll actually train the trees to be the fence. I'll give you a little bit of an idea up here on a hedgerow of kind of how that works. Then in here, we'll use the trees to make the trees will make us a setting area in here. This setting area will be nice once the trees get to maturity. And I'm sorry about the traffic. We live on a fairly busy road this time of night and first thing in the mornings. But these over here only will be a 3 cable system, and this will all be a 4 cable system. So I'll run 4 cables. These posts are about 6 feet out of the ground. This one has not anchored well. Is what it is, I guess. And then we will train the trees across each of these, and the trees will become the fence as they grow up and mature. And as I said, I've got 4 holes in these to run 4 cables. Some of these trees have grown a whole lot more than the other ones, so I've got to get this trellis up because they will not make it next year. Got to get these trees tied up and anchored so they can do what they're supposed to do. And you'll see I've got this post leaning. It's laying back, so when the cables pull against it, it'll have a little more support. You can see right here, similar thing we've done here. Now these posts are taller. These posts are 8 feet out of the ground. And so we got a 4-wire system. These are, the bottom one is 18 inches off the ground, and then it's 2 feet in between each wire. Them front ones, we are 18 inches off the ground and 18 inches between each wire. This is not going to be a living fence. This is a hedgerow, but it's a hedgerow with support. Depending on what kind of trees you use, you may or may not have to have a support system on your hedgerow. What we're doing will be supported. These are on G935 rootstock. That's a Geneva series semi-dwarf rootstock. I've been very happy with it. We use tree clips to hold the trees in place. See how we've got that set up. Works very well. And then as we need to, we can tie the tree limbs down to the cables for support, or we can tuck them under. This one's a little too rigid. I would show you how to tuck it, but you can't tuck it. And then here, I've used a simple piece of scrap hardwood flooring, cut me some notches in it to hold this limb down to take some of the vigor out of it. Now, this will get pruned back this winter. We'll take scion wood off of these upright cuttings and leave this limb will be the one that stays, and these upright cuttings is what we'll cut and take scion wood off of. And same thing up here. I need to take those two out of the top of the tree so that it can grow up and reach the top wire without the competition. And a hedgerow is basically an apple tree that makes a hedge is what we're doing here with this. And it'll be roughly 36 inches thick, so we'll have 18 inches on each side of it. And I've got one more tree to plant here, so there'll be one more tree going in the ground here. And as you can see, this row is 1 year ahead of this row, so the trees are much more mature. I started out T-posts. As you can see here, I've got a T-post. Started out T-posts, and I found out I didn't like that for this type of system. It works, but it's not strong enough, so I went to the posts, and the posts are working much better. This, I believe, this beast is, I'm pretty sure, I don't see my tag, a little dark, but this is, I think, our old Stark, and it has been a beast of a tree to control on this G935 rootstock. These trees are, I believe this row is 4 years old and this row is 3 years old. They're 1 year in between them, and I think it's 4 and 3. And you can see the size. Obviously I'm 6 foot, and this tree is a good 3 foot above my head, so maybe 4 foot. So that's probably about a 10 or 11 foot tall tree. I can reach obviously right 7.5 feet almost, and it's got a good 2 feet above me, so it's a 9.5, 10 foot tree. So it's just been a vigorous grower. This limb right here will come out this year because it's competing with the trunk. So I will have to remove this limb. We'll come back here and we'll do a cut here and allow it to sprout and hopefully sprout a new limb from under there, renewal cut. That's the idea. I wish I had one of these anchors in my pocket. I would show you. These are commonly used for grape arbors and so forth. They work on this 12.5 gauge high tensile electric fence wire, which is what a lot of people use for apple orchard fencing. And I'm not working, obviously I'm not working with a 400 foot roll of apples here. You know, this is I think 40 feet. And so I'm hoping this will work. It's totally my idea, and I don't know of anyone else that's doing it. The center post may not have needed the anchors. I could have possibly run the wire just through the post and got by with it, but I thought that I would rather have that extra there. So I've got anchors on all the end posts, and I've got anchors in the center posts, and I will repeat that setup over here on this roll next year, hopefully early spring before these trees come out of dormancy. I'll get that done. Right now I'm trying to focus on that front living fence that I was showing you, and I'll do another video to show you that living fence once I get the cables in place and the trees tied up, and then we'll try to do an update next year. And the living fence will basically be an espalier, and the espalier will turn into the fence. The older the trees get, as long as they don't die, of course, no disease problems, the older the trees get, the bigger the fence will become. And eventually the posts and the cables will basically disappear inside the fence and make it look much better. We're getting ready to, right here, we're going to plant another hedgerow. This is next to that first hedgerow, the older one, the 4-year-old one. So we're going to do another one here. That one tree will have to be dug up and moved. That's an M111 rootstock, and we've decided we'd rather, it's interfering with a hedgerow here, and we've decided we'd rather have a hedgerow here. We don't fight the deer on this end of the property at all. So the trees up here do much, much, much better. So we're going to try to get a hedgerow put in here and remove this one M111 tree. And it's a beautiful tree. We're not going to by no means cut it down. We're going to go through the time to dig it up when it goes dormant, and then we're going to head it back at about 6 feet, maybe even 5 feet. That'll stunt it, of course, but it will work. And this is a Jonna Gold tree is what it is. If you look up here, I don't know if you can spot it in the light. Look at our praying mantis. We are a no spray farm, so we encourage the natural predators on the farm. That helps us not have to spray, and by not spraying, those predators continue to build. We have a large praying mantis population on the farm, as well as riding spiders, your Charlottes. I can't think of what they're called right now, but they are amazing. Tiffany's sneaking up behind me. Tiffany, you got a praying mantis here on the tree. So anyway, the Jonna Gold will come down this fall after the leaves drop and it goes dormant. We will move this tree to its new location, its new home, so that we can fit, I think it was, oh man, 20 trees, 18 trees, something like that. But basically we can remove one tree and put in 18. And yes, this M111 tree would probably produce 2 to 3 times as many apples a year as one of these G935s will. But the G935s will produce quicker, and the G935s will produce a lot. So we're going to get a lot more out of those trees than we would them. Right here, and I've got to water this section tomorrow. It ain't been watered yet. But right here is our latest planting. And we have G41, so this is a full dwarf rootstock, except for I got a couple of G222s down here. These are G41s on all of this, and we've got them planted very high density. We're working with a 3-foot spacing. Same thing here, 3-foot spacing. Same thing over there, we got a 3-foot spacing. And eventually, these will interfere with these two M111 trees. This is a blue pearmain that's been very slow about growing, and I think that's a Macintosh. So eventually those two trees will either have to come out or this row will have to come out. But either way, we're all right with that, whatever we need to do to make it happen. So we'll decide at that point. You know, we're probably 5 years down the road before that becomes an issue. And I realize that, you know, we're going to get some shade here and maybe not color some of these apples in as well as we would like, but it will work. There's been people do much closer spacing than this, and makes it work. These two rows here are 9 feet in between rows, 3 feet in between trees. Now, the only reason this one has got a wider spacing on the row is when I originally laid this out, I was squeezing that second row of stone fruit in, and we had another stone fruit tree planted there and another one here that did not make it. So I put these trees in spacing with what was already there. So we've got, between these two rows, we've got 18 feet. So I've got double the spacing of what I've got up there. And I may come back in here, I haven't decided yet, and put another row in here. You know, this, I would have the ability for nine more trees, and I would like to have those 9 trees in here. Like I said, we don't fight deer up here, so, you know, this is ideal spot for us. And then we're continuing to fence the rest of the property. Everything we do slows the deer down, but until we get it all fenced, it's not going to stop them. We've got 6 acres, and we can plant up here, and then we don't have to worry about the deer because they don't travel by the house to get to this. Not that they couldn't, it's just they don't. So here's my Virginia Beauty. We just picked the apples off of it. It only had a couple this year. Would have had more if it wasn't for frost. I need to tie that tree up hopefully this weekend. It's always leaned a little bit, but this year it has leaned a little bit more. So we're going to tie it up straight. Just like I had to stake this one. I'm not positive what rootstock my Virginia Beauty's on. I thought it was M111, but I'm betting it's not. It might be an M7 rootstock. And we had to stake this one up a few years ago because it was wanting to ride over towards the back porch. So we got it tied up and corrected the problems of it. And it's doing much better now. And well, anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video for you this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it. God bless you and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye.